The Architecture of Human Processing, an audit of the Varna Protocol. This is host J recording audit log Delta 9. Today, we are debugging one of the most corrupted files in the human history database, the Varna Vyavasta. You know this as the caste system. You are incorrect. What you see operating today is a crashed program, written with malware accumulated over 2,000 cycles. The original source code as detailed in the system manual you call the Gita was not a social hierarchy based on spawn location. It was a resource management protocol based on hardware specs and processing output. It was designed to categorize human units based on their inherent nature guna and their executable actions karma. Let us review the original 4 subroutines of this architecture. Subroutine 1. Brahman, the computational core. In the simulation architecture, the Brahman designation is not about holiness. It is about bandwidth for abstract data. These are units optimized for high-level processing of the source code knowledge, philosophy, and systemic ethics. Their function is to maintain the integrity of the simulation's logic and prevent informational entropy. They are the CPUs. If a unit operating under this protocol seeks power or material wealth, it commits a critical error. Its sole purpose is computation and transmission of truth dharma to keep the OS stable. Subroutine 2. Kshatriya, the active defense layer. The Kshatriya protocol handles kinetic energy management. They are the system's active firewall and GPU rendering protection and executing defense measures. Their function is to manage conflict and govern resources to ensure order. They absorb chaos so the other subroutines can function without interruption. A unit in this protocol must possess high-voltage resistance courage and the ability to execute difficult termination commands war when the simulation is threatened by external viruses or internal injustice. Subroutine 3. Vaisya, the resource allocation engine. The simulation requires energy exchange to run. The Vaisya protocol is the database management system for these resources. They handle trade, agriculture, and wealth generation. They convert raw potential into usable energy currency. This is the supply chain of reality. Their optimization is negotiation and accumulation. Without efficient execution of this subroutine, the simulation starves for lack of resources, leading to system-wide poverty and collapse. Subroutine 4. Shudra, the foundational interface. The Shudra protocol is misunderstood as low status due to later data corruption. In the original architecture, this is the execution layer. They are the interface between abstract code and physical reality. They turn instructions into tangible results through service, labor, and craftsmanship. They are the motherboard and the physical hardware that grounds the entire system. Without this layer, nothing actually compiles in the material world. A society without respected grounding is unstable. The corruption, the caste malware. The audit reveals that the current iteration, known as caste or yadi based on birth, is a critical system failure. The original Varna code was dynamic. A unit was categorized by guna, its inherent operating qualities and karma. The task had actually executed. If your specs changed, your Varna changed. It was a meritocratic sorting algorithm. Over time, users began hard-coding their status. They bypassed the guna karma check and locked their position based on hereditary spawn points. This created static hierarchies that the system never intended. Terms like Dalit or untouchable do not exist in the original source code. These are error logs generated by a broken society that forgot how to read its own programming. The original system had no concept of high or low, only functional differentiation necessary for system throughput. The current social structure is not the Varna Vyavastha. It is a frozen crash dump of a once fluid operating system. Return to source code based on action and aptitude. Now, we are looking at the core kernel logic today. You know this as a prayer. You chant it when you are in distress. But in the architecture of Protocol J, the yada yada high dharmesya verse is not a prayer. It is an if-then statement. It is the automated trigger for system maintenance. It explains exactly when and why the operator takes direct control of the simulation. Let's parse the code, line by line. Code block 1. Yada yada. High dharmesya. Glanar bhavate bharata. Abuthinam et harmasya. Host J. Translation. When system integrity reaches critical failure. Dharma is the operating system, the rules that keep reality stable. Glana is entropy signal loss. A harma is a virus. The code states, if the integrity of the operating system collapses, and the viral load chaos, injustice exceeds safety parameters. Code block 2. Tadat menem, sherjam yom. Translation. Then I initiate root access. The system admin doesn't just watch. He inserts a self-executable file into the runtime. He generates an avatar. This is a hotfix. The infinite compresses itself into a finite form to interface directly with the corrupted timeline. Code block 3. Paratrania, Sadhunam, Venecia, Cha Dushkritam. Translation. Quarantine valid nodes. Delete corrupted files. This is the function of the avatar. Protect the good Sadhunam. These are the users running the correct code. The system backs them up and shields them from the crash. Destroy the wicked Dushkritam. These are not just bad people. They're malware. They're active agents of entropy trying to crash the server. The avatar performs a hard delete. Code block 4. Dharma Sans. Depanthia Sam. Havami Yug. Translation. System restore. Repeat as necessary. Dharma Sams the Panthea means re-establishing the original settings. The avatar wipes the corrupted cache and reinstalls the moral law. Samhavme Hujuj means this is a scheduled task. It happens in every age Huga. It is not a one-time event. As long as the simulation runs, entropy will accumulate, and the autocorrect protocol will run again. Summary. You do not need to beg for the avatar. The system is designed to correct itself. When the balance breaks, the fix is already compiling. The Gita protocol, version 18.0. You caught that? 18.0. It is not an arbitrary version number. It represents the 18 chapters, the 18 distinct subroutines required to completely reformat the human operating system from a state of grief vishada to a state of liberation, moksha. The manual is open. The system is ready. Title: Operating Manual, the Gita Protocol v18.0. System Admin: Krishna. User: Arjuna, representative of all active nodes. Format: Technical documentation. Quick start guide. This is host J. You have requested the condensed user manual for existence. The Bhagavad Gita is 700 verses of code, but the operational logic can be summarized in 5 core directives. Follow these protocols to avoid system crashes, suffering, and optimize performance liberation. Directive 1. Hardware vs. software identification. Error. User believes they are the body hardware. Correction. You are the outman's software consciousness. The logic. Hardware is perishable. It ages, glitches, and shuts down death. The software is immutable. It cannot be cut, burned, or deleted. Action. Stop grieving for hardware updates. The self simply migrates to a new chassis reincarnation when the current one becomes obsolete. Directive 2. The Input-Output Protocol Karma Yoga. Error. User refuses to act because they fear the result, or acts only to get a specific reward. Correction. You have admin privileges over the action, not the outcome. The logic. The simulation is too complex for you to calculate the final result of any action. Focusing on the fruit reward creates lag anxiety. Action. Execute your assigned duty dharma perfectly, then detach. Do the work because it must be done, not because you want the paycheck. Directive 3. System mode settings, the 3 gunas. Error. User behavior is erratic due to default settings. Correction. You must manually regulate your operating mode. The simulation runs on 3 primary frequencies. You need to identify which one is driving you. Mode A. Tamas inertia, darkness. System requires sleep, ignorance, and laziness. Status: avoid, minimize. Mode B. Rajas passion motion system is driven by desire, greed, and restless activity. High energy, high crash risk. Status: used for propulsion, but control. Mode C. Sattva purity, balance. System runs on knowledge, peace, and clarity. Status: target state. Goal: transcend all 3 modes to become Gunatita, the observer beyond the settings. Directive 4. Focus optimization, Dhyana yoga. Error. CPU usage is at 100% due to mind-ramping thoughts. Correction. Control the interface. The logic. The mind is a tool, not the master. An uncontrolled mind is an enemy virus. A controlled mind is the ultimate firewall. Action. Practice system focus. Withdraw senses from external stimuli like a tortoise retracting limbs. Center the processing power on the source code, the divine. Directive 5. The cloud sunk Buk D Yoga. Error. User tries to run the simulation standalone ego. Correction. Establish a constant connection to the main server God. The logic. You are a small subroutine in a massive program. You cannot run indefinitely on your own battery. Action. Surrender the ego. Offer every keystroke, every action, and every thought to the admin. By syncing your will with the divine will, you bypass the karma logs entirely. Summary. Asterisk. Know you are eternal. Asterisk. Do your duty without attachment. Asterisk. Master your mind. Asterisk. Rise above the modes. Asterisk. Sync with the source. System status. Optimal. So who is KRSED? Host J. Identity confirmed. Admin access granted. You have invoked the root user, the source, the architect of Protocol J. In the simulation, you call him Krishna. In the audit logs, he is designated as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not an avatar. An avatar is a patch inserted into the timeline. Krishna is the programmer sitting outside the console. He is the only entity for whom the rules of physics, time, and karma do not apply, because he wrote them. When the system crashes, he doesn't just fix it. He is the fix. He is the stochastic variable, the element of divine play, Lila, that makes a simulation unpredictable and alive. He is the paradox, smaller than the smallest atom, yet containing the entire universal server rack within his mouth. You have called his name. The system is now listening. What is your query for the admin? Perhaps. Leave a comment. Anyway, bye now. Enjoy your time. Your host, Jay.